Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, we're back. It's 10:30 as promised. I'm back. Soon to be joining me over here over my left shoulder. Will be there she is, the unstoppable, indomitable, um, just a virtual force of nature.
A virtual force of nature?
A virtual force of nature.
No, I'm like an actual force of
The
nature.
the constantly chattering Lisa, the cat lady, cat woman.
You know what? I'm an extrovert who lives alone. I'm allowed to chatter. When I'm like out in public.
See, I'm an introvert that they let out with the people every once in a while, and when I get out with the people, I have my batteries fully charged and I don't shut up. And then when it's time to go home, I'm like, oh my god, I get to go home and not talk to people again. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I
pleasurable.
don't actually have to be here.
It's true.
It's true. I mean, although it is good if I stay to make sure that Joe doesn't set anything on fire.
That's not flammable anymore. So this is what we're doing. Check this out. That is the fade in. There it is. The still's running. Back behind it are my two big stills. That is J-Lo and Shakira. The big pots. J-Lo and Shakira, the large pots. I'm a big fan of both, and that is the money makers right there. And when
I
the
like
steam
it.
when
I
the
like
steam
it.
goes in, they shake just a little bit, but not too much, and it's a pleasure to see and watch. When those motors on top are running, yeah, that's where we make our money right there. But in the foreground, you can see. In fact, I'm going to turn the microphone this way. So you'll actually be able to see in here, right here. This is our column, the baby pot. The baby pot doesn't have a name. Oh, here's the camera. The baby pot down here doesn't have a name, but that is our still column, and we are making gin. Gin coming right here. It is currently distilling at 135, give or take, right there in the mid 130s, 135 proof or so. So what I'm going to do when it gets down to about 100 proof, I'm watching the hydrometer. When the hydrometer goes down, the hydrometer rises up to about 100 proof. I'm going to go up there to, I don't know if you can see it still. I'm going to flip that valve there, turn that valve off, turn that valve on, and recharge the column so that we can get fresher alcohol coming through there. We should be getting, we still have good liquor coming out. We should get this just about filled up by the end of the night. When this fills up, I'll get it up to about here, give or take. That'll be about 7 gallons. We'll have gotten 7 gallons, twice. We'll have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth one. We're not going to get a full 7 gallons out of this. We're going to get about. Okay, I've got to go do math content. Come back over here with me. All right, so gotta get the microphone back over here. So what we'll do, I just moved the table. Sorry. So according to my calculations, at the beginning of the day, there, I need to shift the table. There we go. So according to my calculations, we have about 23 gallons. We started with 23 gallons of alcohol in the pot, right about 23 gallons. And I've been collecting it at about 180 proof all day long. We've gotten 3 done, 6 gallons, 6 gallons, and 7 gallons, or 6 gallons, 6 gallons, 6.5 gallons. So we've got 12, 18 and a half, almost 19 gallons already collected at 180 proof, which puts the total, it's something like 18 or 19 gallons of alcohol actually collected, which means there's about 5 gallons of alcohol. There was about 5 gallons of alcohol left in there. So what I need to do is collect up another 6 gallons or so, 5 gallons or so, 6 gallons would be about where I had my hand on that carboy. And then that would give me a fairly efficient yield. I'm not going to get all of the alcohol out of there, but if I can get 21 or so gallons out of the pot, that would be a very good run. 21 and a half, if I only leave about a gallon and a half of alcohol back in there. All the runs that I've done so far, I've left less than a gallon in the pot. And I take a measurement the next day. So what'll happen is over the course of tonight, over the rest of tonight and tomorrow morning, when I come back and take my measurements and confirm the amounts that I've drawn out of the still, confirm the proof that I've drawn out of the still, record all of the activity from the previous day, what's going to happen is a lot of that alcohol. There you go. You actually have your own microphone.
Woo! Fancy!
Yeah, fancy.
But not my own camera.
Well, I only have one camera.
Right.
That camera's for the alcohol, the star of the show.
Yeah, but...
That is a lot of... it's fine.
I'm
a lot of
here.
Air noise going through. And actually, what I want to do is put a second... We're on host 2. Yeah, no, not that. I want to put a second cam up. It's going to take a second for it to do it. But, add the video capture device. I'm going to add Canon to the scene. Not that one. No, sir. Not that Canon. Go to that one. I'm going to add another Canon to the scene. Add the second capture device. That one is frozen. That one? Yeah, that's the one. So, what you're about to see is a little picture-in-picture action with the still right there of Elise's face. There. That's she's gonna murder me. So what I'm doing right now, my job, 100%. Sure, is the door? Yeah, doors are closed. We'll probably get some wildlife coming and visiting us later. That isn't just June bugs. But what I'm doing is I'm watching that hydrometer steadily float higher in the current. And when it hits a certain point, I'm going to go over there and flip those valves, and that's it. Then it'll be about another hour, so I should be out of here around midnight. That's a day in the life of a distiller, boys and girls. That is how shit works. Okay, I'll turn that down a little bit. So there you go. Lisa, what'd you think of the band?
I thought the band was great. It was a good mix of their original music and some very familiar...
Can't put the microphone.
What's wrong with you?
I put the microphone here to put your face. That was not intentional. There, that's better.
Okay.
Usually this isn't even in the screen. I don't have to mess with the damn microphone.
Well, this is not your home office.
I know. My home studio is much... There, that's better.
Okay.
Much more organized for me to do things.
So, yeah, I thought the band was really good. I enjoyed them a lot. They're coming back.
Yes. In a little more than 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, right. In fact, I think it's in 3 weeks. Because next week we have Paul, Day, then Marshall, which doesn't rhyme. They don't fit the motif. They don't rhyme. Marshall, then Ryan Adam Wells. So Paul, Marshall, Ryan Adam Wells, and then these guys return. So 4 weeks. Got them come back in 4 weeks. There you go.
Yeah.
I know my schedule.
Right.
I have a bunch of open dates in June that I have to book. I have a bunch of requests for the time. I just need to slot them in. Texas Whiskey Fest, Houston HTX Whiskey Fest. Things are snapping and popping. It's
Indeed.
cool. Stuff's happening, which is a nice place to be in right now. That's getting really close. We're gonna do work.
So, Joe's going to go look at the still and see what proof
We're
is.
at 120 right now.
Oh.
You see we got a little trickle. It's not as strong a stream as was happening before. It's doing well. Everything's well. Advancing apace.
Right, and at least it's making it into the funnel and not dribbling all over the place.
which is
Like,
good.
yeah.
I overfilled a carboy the other day. I was reading David Perrodin's book. Where's my still store cam back? Boop, there it is. I was reading out of the book, his book, The Velocity of Information, which has to do with the velocity at which information travels. And I wasn't paying any damn attention. And I heard a strange sound coming from behind me because I wasn't facing still. I was actually facing that direction. And I heard the sound over here. And the sound that changed was, it was, instead of going into the funnel and into the carboy, it was going drip, drip, drip into alcohol that had backed up all the way up the carboy and into the funnel. And it was dripping directly into the, so it was all the way up into the, so I had to take the carboy, put it into a bucket, and then remove the funnel so that all the alcohol fell into the bucket, and then lift the bucket and the carboy and dump them both into my collection tank while, not dropping the carboy out of the bucket. It was some serious Three Stooges shit going on.
Notice that Joe is only one person, but was able to manage Three Stooges worth of ridiculousness.
Yep. I'm quite talented like that.
I'm not sure that's what I'd call it.
Not many people could pull that off.
Thankfully.
I was even going, why you? Yeah. And at the end of it all, the carboy did in fact get stuck in the bucket. So I had to maneuver it. I'm holding it with my feet, having them in between my feet. I'm holding it. I'm like doing the whole. Yeah, it did not stop getting ridiculous. It continued to get more and more ridiculous as it progressed. It was insane.
This is what happens when Joe does not have any adult supervision.
Because the alternative would have somebody hold the bucket and me hold the carboy and then pull it, and then we'd both go ass over tea kettle and tumble both directions, and it would just be even more ridiculous.
I don't know. Maybe that other person would notice that.
Well, pay attention in the first place.
Right.
Well, there's that, but once that horse has left the barn, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to move on with the next step of ridiculous. I mean, we have fail safes, and I'm not going to call them foolproof mechanisms because fools are very ingenuitive. They are clever creatures. No matter what you do, a fool will figure out a way around the lock, one way or another, whether it's breaking the door down or just, going through the roof. A fool will figure it out. There's no such thing as foolproof. There's just fool resistance.
I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah. So there you go.
You gotta.
I mean, I have two carboys. One's the wide one. The one I'm using now is the skinny tall one. The other one's a wide short one. And the skinny tall one fits in the bucket just fine. We have a large bucket that fits right in just fine. Doesn't get stuck, nothing. But that was not the one that overfilled. The one that overfilled was the short, fat one, which gets stuck in the wide bucket. And I use those buckets because those buckets are graded at 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, all the way up to 6 gallons at the bottom of the rim. So those buckets are uniquely attuned to this process. This whole process of it's not exactly precise measurements, but it's you got to measure it. You got to know what it is you're trying to get out of the wash, and it's really hard to do this blind without measurements. And
I think you need to go check that.
Yeah, we're right at 100, real close to it. All right, so this is what we do. The next step, that's with a right. Close that. You can't see the valves on the screen, but But over here, on this side, you see the plates. So what's going to happen is that's out of screen.
Your
The top plate,
yeah.
they're going to fill up from the top down to the bottom. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And because we're at the end of the run, we're at the very end of the run, we're probably only going to get alcohol filling up in the plates up to 3.
Hey, we're down to a drip.
Yeah, supposed to.
Okay.
Okay, so what's happening here? This is shut off. This is stopped. Because, let's see if I can move this camera without shutting it off. I'm going to angle it up a little bit. Very nervous about messing with the camera. Because I don't want to have it freeze.
You're doing okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to get the valves in there. So what we've done is switching the valves. Those 2 valves on there.
Yep.
Got them both?
Well,
yeah, we got them. Okay, so here's what we got. My pointy stick. So there's these 2 valves. This whole system is called the deflectinator. I don't make up a word. That's what it is.
yes, you do.
No, that's a real word. That is a word.
Your pointy stick, though, is
It's a pointy stick. So we have the cold water coming from the wall into here. And then it goes up through here. And this one is the valve that'll send, so it comes through here, down through this valve. And then that hose goes over to this side. That controls the temperature at the top of the still. And that'll send all of my alcohol back down the column. It's too cold for it to go past the column and into the output. This is the other valve that sends the water. It bypasses all this. The water comes up through here, goes through here. Now, I've turned this off so that all of the water, the microphone is not facing me. They probably can't hear me. They maybe hear me on that one. There we go. Nobody's watching anyway, so that's fine. I make up shit. But this is where the animal spirits come through, and then they inflate the whiskey, and the whiskey has babies, and that's how we do it. Whatever. This is the bypass valve, and if this is open, the water will come through here and go straight out. We don't want that to happen. We want the water to come up through here, and all of it go back to the column, so that the column will get recharged. And if I look up here, we probably have, we have alcohol here, and none here, none here. I would be surprised if we got all the way down there. If I give it another 5 minutes, these two will charge up, and we'll be good to go. We are not going to get, I should be able to get.
okay. I gotta move the camera again.
Camera too high?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move it. You're too short. That good? Are we frozen?
No, we're not frozen.
Because it'll freeze. Hi.
It's not frozen.
Hello? I push that button. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So here are the plates. These plates will fill up with alcohol as we go up and down the line. Early on this morning, when I fired this up for the first time, I had the first valve open, the second valve closed. I had the 6 plate all the way down, fully filled up. You can go see that on the Instagram, or probably have a short. I post a bunch of videos all over the social media.
It's somewhere.
In fact, I did post a short when I opened up the valve, the Whiskey River short. You can go see that. It's awesome. It's fun. Okay, so where we're at now, we're not going to get any more alcohol in the column. Let's see if we got, yeah, we got a 6, 5, and 4 are not giving me anything. There's a little bit of action in 4, just a little bit. But very, very, very good. So I will give it 2 more minutes to see if any additional, which is really good news because I want this to be done because I want to go home because I'm hungry. Hungry. I've not eaten food tonight. It's Pizza night. I'm missing out on pizza night. Yeah. Although we did have pizza last week.
Oh, we had such good pizza yesterday. There's this place down the street called Windy City Pizza in Humble. Chuck is a magician
And he is not paid for this.
with
Great,
pizza.
because nobody's watching.
Right. That was not a paid endorsement.
All right, we're good enough. So we got that valve. We close it. We open up this valve, and then we'll get this will drop down a little bit, and we'll get a steady stream going, and I'll give it another, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then I'll do it one more time. But what happens when this gets below 100 proof, we start getting oils from the botanicals and herbs and all the stuff that's in our gin basket and in the bag that's floating in here. So when we start getting all those oils and stuff, it starts to add too pungent of a flavor, too pungent of a smell. So we want to not have that happen. So,
Yeah, we'd like for it to be nice and balanced and pleasant.
Exactly. So tell us about Chuck's Windy City Pizza.
Chuck's Pizza. So I lived in Chicago for 3 years when I was going to law school. And
Here she goes. Tell us about Chicago and law school.
my favorite place to go and get deep dish pizza was Giordano's. Chuck's Pizza is like even tastier. It's pretty good. So he makes his dough from scratch. He makes his own cheese blend. He's got a really nice smoked mozzarella and smoked provolone. There are 2 other cheeses. I don't think he'll ever tell me what they are. I think he puts about.
It's American cheese. It's American cheese and Colby Jack.
It is not. There is no yellow cheese in this. So I think in a medium pizza, he slices it up into quarters. I think in that pizza that there is probably a 1/4 pound of cheese on each slice. And then his tomato sauce.
Okay, Lisa, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. So we've gone from 100 proof up to 100, almost 140.
Oh.
Which is what I would expect to happen because we had pure alcohol in the column come through, and that has lowered the proof coming through here. And what I was looking forward to hear was the oily stuff that was coming through and see if that would stop. And as the proof increased, as the hydrometer dropped in, the oily residue that was coming in here stopped. And now we have a clean, pure alcohol dropping in here again. And when this rises back up, goes back down to 100 proof, we'll start seeing ugly, nasty stuff. Ugly, nasty is probably not the right word.
Ugly nasty is not the right word.
Well, I mean, compared to what I'm looking for, it's disturbing. It's the numbers that make you scared if you've seen Severance.
I have seen Severance.
But
I've seen all of Severance.
I mean,
Joe has.
It really does look like vegetable oil dropping in water. Because it is. It's oils from the botanicals dropping into the water. We don't want that. And like I said, when it gets to the low proof or the really low proof, that's what you see. And that's what I was expecting to see it cut out of there. We're all the way up to 150 proof now. And if you watch this, in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see it in a couple of minutes. It's going to rise fairly quickly. And then I'll have to put those switchy things again and recharge the stacky thing.
Switchy things and stacky things.
That is science.
That,
Kill. Science.
I try.
Switchy things. Valvey stuff.
You're a mess.
I am. See? That's from barrels and splinters in my hand. Got a new one there.
He's filthy. Like, I don't think that you can
I washed my
really...
hands earlier. Tuesday.
Right.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Mm.
There we go. See, it's great that she's like 3.5 feet.
Not even 3.5 feet from you. It's like 18 inches.
No, I mean tall, because he can be under the screen.
Oh. 5'3".
In heels.
No. It's actually 5'3" and a
So
quarter.
It's awesome.
And
great. We're
a
just going out into the ether.
disproportionate amount of my height is in my legs. So.
Like a giraffe. Like a very short giraffe. Oh, goodness. So you can see the hydrometer in just the time we've been jabbering has bolted right out of the water. I can't see.
Aren't you supposed to go do something?
Yep, I'm about to go do stuff. But the switchy things, until we get the, alright, we still have 20 alcohol coming, so we're not, we're still at like 110. We're not quite all the way there. So, give it a second. I would like to get up to this line, which I don't know if they can see it.
Here.
Stupid microphone. Get over here. See, this is a very directional microphone. It's a new microphone. I'm not used to this particular microphone. I'm not used to this one because Lisa's is more omnidirectional. And when I was in college, we had omni mics and one boom mic. Whatever.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Point to the line you want to get to again.
All right. I want to get here.
Right.
Good. I'm not going to do it. All right. We are down below 100%. Just. I'm going to do it one more time. Get out of here before the ghost starts showing up.
Because, we're out in the woods and that happens. So, Joe just announced that it's a completely dark sky.
There's no moon. There's no star. It's cloudy, so there's no stars. It's just completely dark out there. And we're in the country. Well, we're not in the country.
We are not the country.
We're off the map when it comes to the suburb. Like there's a suburban development a quarter mile that way, a suburban development a quarter mile that way, and we are in between them. There's no lights. There's no phones. There's no motor cars. Not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe. It's primitive as can be. And we have lights here because this is a little oasis where, the spirits are.
There's also a CrossFit box in the next building over.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah.
And you'd think that those guys would be great to have around because Moose Cow's here. Cheers, Moose Cow. You think those guys would be great to have around because they're all meatheads and they like lifting heavy things and moving them from here to there, but they don't come and move heavy things from here to there. They want to move heavy things without purpose. And it's like, guys, I have all the heavy things.
Right. I mean, they could come over and buy 2 bottles of whiskey per person per month.
Yeah, and I would let them move heavy things.
Exactly.
That's a hell of a deal.
Right?
A hell of a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, for the low, low price of $150 a month, you too can be a member of the Old Humble Distilling Company CrossFit Gym. And you will get the opportunity to pick up heavy barrels and move them from one place to another, and then pick them back up and move them back because they have to go back to where they were. Or these boxes that have to be on the table for a minute, and then back on the pallet for another minute, and then back on the table for another minute, and then back on a pallet.
And if it's on Friday nights, there will be live music.
Yeah, and for the low, low price of $150 a month, you too can come to the Old Humble Distilling Company, get really sweaty, and listen to live music every Friday night. Join a gym. You won't lose weight. You'll drink a lot, But you can tell people you're at a CrossFit gym. That'd be cool. What trouble have I gotten into today? I don't get in trouble, Moose Cow. I have a lawyer
Oh
to
my
make sure that doesn't happen.
gosh.
All right.
You missed it earlier, Moose Cow, when he was explaining his whole
We
three.
are not getting any fresh alcohol in the column. So I'm just going to run it, see if we get anything fresh. Otherwise, we're done. This is it.
Awesome. So, yeah, apparently earlier today he got one of these gigantic glass jugs stuck in a bucket. Nobody was here watching him,
It was
so.
Tuesday.
Oh, so.
When I wasn't live streaming, it was that one.
Yeah. So. Just really shouldn't leave him unattended. But, you know, the man's got some moves.
I think we're done. I don't think we're going to. Yeah. Oh, I did that. Open it. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I need to have.
That's the one you said you needed to open
Late,
earlier.
I forgot what I needed to do.
So.
And the hydrometer is actually moving up instead of down, which is the opposite direction that it's supposed to go at the end of a run. And that's it. We're going to call it.
Yay! So.
We're going to turn the water off so we can quit destroying the universe with water. You know, that's why the universe is interesting. Because of water.
So, Joe is turning off the water so that we don't waste more energy because it's Earth Day. So that's how he's celebrating.
Water is unevenly distributed throughout the universe, which is causing the universe to be unbalanced, which is why we have entropy.
You know, I'm not sure that anybody can hear you,
That's
Joe.
science.
Yeah. So, Joe. Had his science lecture. So, but he just disappeared
So
every.
another thing that I have to do when we shut down the distillery is walk around and pick up all of the extension cords and get them off the ground.
He's picking up
Because
extension
unlike the
cords.
event of a water leak, if I have extension cords plugged into the wall and laying on the ground and making sparks, you will all die. A horrible fiery death.
I really think he's only rolling up these extension cords
May
because
sound
I'm
like
here.
fun to some people, but one of my favorite hobbies is not being on fire.
Yeah. Not being on fire is that's a good thing to aim for. So I have Unhinged ready for whenever we figure out our live stream schedule. We've started doing trivia night at the distillery on Thursdays, so we're working out some alternate plans for the live stream. But don't worry, Unhinged will be around. Yes, Moose Scout. Joe needs a chaperone. This is why I'm involved in this operation. So I make sure that he doesn't set things on fire. I try to keep him
It was a small fire one time.
2 times.
Yeah.
And
the second one was even smaller.
I try to keep him from getting cease and desist letters.
I try to collect cease and desist letters.
He does try to collect cease and desist letters, much fun. To my chagrin. It is not fun. So, yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. Like, they're like, stop doing this. And I'm like, I've already stopped. It was a stunt one time, you dumb idiots.
Yeah.
Boy. All right, so the still is quiet. There's no energy going into it. I need to unplug it probably.
There's nothing dripping out of it.
Nothing's coming out of it, nothing's going into it. There is still heat in the pot. It is at 190 degrees, give or take.
It's kind of hot. Not quite boiling point of water,
but it is well past the boiling point of alcohol. So any alcohol left in here is going to continue to vaporize. There's no mechanism up here to cool it off.
To give you some sort of reference for
need
190 degrees, I like my coffee and tea to be at 185.
She has coffee and tea.
Yeah. So I have this little hot water tank that sits on my countertop, and I love it because it keeps water at a steady temperature all the time. So I have hot tea on demand.
Oh, check out what I found, guys.
Oh, Joe has a clipboard.
I got a clipboard now.
So
I can walk around like a coach. I can't wait.
Like he's in charge or something, right?
Record things. It's gonna be dope as hell. That's going in your permanent record.
Next, I'll get him a whistle with a lanyard. So right now, Joe is dumping the gin that we just distilled into a very large bucket or barrel. I can't see over there. Short. So it's sort of like dumping over one of those big Ozarka water tank things that you put on top of the water cooler. Although it does not make that glub, glub, glub sound. Because he was pouring it all out. Tomorrow is Saturday.
Tomorrow I will come in and I will take measurements of all the stuff that I did today. Record it all. Record the final product. Because there's some amount that I've distilled, something north of 18 gallons, something close to 20-something gallons that I've distilled. I don't know exactly the number yet, but I'll measure all of that tomorrow. I'll take the proofreading tomorrow and record it all in the notebook, and it goes into the reports and all the stuff. And that's the post-mortem. That's why I don't like doing these on Fridays, because I could come and do it on Monday. It's not big of a deal. It's not going anywhere. But tomorrow I'm meeting 3 people tomorrow during the day, so I'll be in here tomorrow at 10. I've got equipment to fix, doodads to fiddle with, thingamajigs that need some squirty stuff smeared in various places. And then gotta fiddle with it again and scrunch them together and bolt it in place.
To give you a little color commentary, Joe smells like recess.
Smell like recess? I've been here since 9 o'clock. Right. At least I don't smell like gin and whiskey. Because that's the half the time when I leave here, that's what I smell like. Because I've spilt stuff on me and I smell like a bar.
Just hope you don't get pulled over.
Explain to the cop. No, sir. You don't understand. I work in booze. Like, literally, I'm in it. Like, up to here. Oh, good Lord. Moose Gal, it's good to see you. I'm going to ditch the clipboard. I'm not going to ditch the clipboard. I just found the clipboard. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I have a clipboard.
He's very proud of the clipboard.
I have a clipboard now. Like oh. I know what I used to use a clipboard for, but we don't do that anymore. So.
We named a new drink tonight.
We did.
After one of my cats.
Yes. So, it is straight whiskey or rye?
No, straight whiskey.
Straight whiskey and Coke. The drinky kind, not the snorty kind. Although, that would be pretty good.
No.
Just a little dabble, do you?
No.
Just a little bump. You know, speaking of bumps of cocaine, if I saw somebody do a key bump, I wouldn't even know how to describe that to somebody else. Like, I wouldn't know that it was a key bump. Like, if I saw somebody do, like,
I don't even know.
I know what key bumps. I know they exist, but I don't know what they look like. So if I saw somebody do a key bump in front of me, I'd be like, they just did some cocaine, like right in front of me. Like, I wouldn't know that they did a key bump. So, like, if somebody describes a key bump as a key bump, it means they know what a key bump is, and they've probably done key bumps. I don't know what a key bump is. What I'm saying is Madison Cawthorn has probably done cocaine very recently because he knows what a key bump is. So, there you go. Anyway, Coke, straight whiskey, and
cinnamon. So we've named it the Whiff and Poof.
stirred, or
Yeah.
shaken,
Stirred.
and it is, the Whiff and Poof.
It's the Whiff and Poof.
Named because we didn't want to call it the Cat Lady or the Cat Woman, but we did name it after a cat.
Yes.
So there you go.
So you take a whiff of the drink because of the aromatic cinnamon, and then
you don't snort it. It's not that kind of Coke.
The drink goes poof because it's so delicious.
You could take like the spoon of cinnamon and like swallow a spoon of cinnamon and then take the drink, and that would be the poof.
Okay, what is this acronym that
I don't know what GTSY means. Good to see you? Good to see you.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go with good to see you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I said, it's great to see you, Moose Cow. And she said, good to see you. I figure that it involved a key. But I also thought that like it could just be like any, like off the tip of your, you could just, I assumed it involved a key. But if somebody took their key and had a little bit of Coke on it and snorted it, I'd be like, that dude just snorted some Coke off his key. I wouldn't know to call it a key bump. It like would not occur to me. That wouldn't be the first thing that came into my mind. It is like he snorted some Coke off his key. And then somebody else would be like, that's a key bump, dude. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. So then I would know what a key bump is. But
I'm getting such an education tonight.
I'm thinking Madison Cawthorn not only went to old people orgies, but also has done cocaine very recently.
She says that's great to see you. Yep. Okay.
Awesome. There you go. I need to paint that wall.
You need to take a shower.
But not today. I do, don't I?
Yeah. Hey, it's Safety Doc.
I am ripe. I'm beginning to smell myself. Safety Doc. That's the guy who made this book that I was talking about.
Okay.
Everything to do. We need to get this thing off my head.
So, Safety Doc.
Intro.
Should I read your first book first, or should I read The Velocity of Information first? Because I have them both at my disposal.
There we go. Oop, there we go. This book right here, written by the Safety Doc, David Perrodin. Perrodin? I'm pronouncing. One of those is correct.
I thought it was Perrodin.
It is all about human thinking during chaotic times. And at the very end, I don't want to spoil it for you, but at the very end, turns out the velocity of information is 743 miles per hour. It's right there in chapter 6. You find out. It's not at the beginning of chapter 6. You got to read into it a little bit, but it's right there on page 147. It's a whole paragraph. It says the velocity of information in 2020, and it says 643 miles per hour. So there you go. If you were wondering and you didn't want to, I mean, you should spend money on the book because it's a perfectly good rectangle. And you get to find out that the velocity of information there in chapter 6 on page 143 is 927 miles per hour.
Okay. I will read velocity of information first. Thanks, David.
But so far, it is a very it is thought-provoking and entertaining and engaging, and I am enjoying it thoroughly. Thank you very much,
In the
Doc.
whole first chapter and 4 pages he has read.
I've gotten all the way into the second chapter. Where am I?
I think you're 4 pages into the second chapter.
I am deep into past face validity. I'm well into chapter 2. Somewhere in here. Yeah.
Yes. The
I'm
book
somewhere in
is
chapter
soon
2.
to be in the Humble
It
Library.
is soon to be in the Humble Library, yes. The Humble Library, it's not just for old men to masturbate. It's also a place for kids to get books. It's not just a place for old men to masturbate. It's a place for kids to get books, too.
Has that been a problem?
They do other things. Isn't all libraries a place for old men to go to masturbate? Probably not the college library. That's where young men go to masturbate. To my knowledge, there has not been a significant scourge of old men masturbating in the Humble Library. But I mean, I don't go to the library that often.
I mean, I used to go to that library. Like,
the Humble Library?
Yeah.
Why?
To tutor somebody for the LSAT.
Jack Fields. No, it's not Jack Fields. It's named after his mom. Miss Fields.
Not the cookie.
Library. Mrs. Fields Municipal Library. A county. I think it's a county library. I don't think it's a municipal library.
It is a county library.
Nikolai Roseman interview. Okay. Is that what's coming up on your show? This week? Or is that what's in chapter 2? If that's what's in chapter 2, I definitely read that already. I have 24 hours of distilling time in front of me, and I'm going to read your book. I would like you to come on my show in 2 weeks' time. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Because I will be done with the book. It will be fresh in my memory, and I would like to talk about it with you, David, Doc, SD, TSD.
PhD.
It's late, and I'm getting loopy.
Smelly.
I do. I
so
stink.
Smelly.
This is what happens when you work in the sun all day long. Or the baking heat of the sun indirectly.
I was going to say, you have not been in the sun. You've been inside the distillery.
But the sun's like right there, and it's like right there, and it's hot in general. We don't have air conditioning.
We do not.
It's a gorgeous night tonight, though. Oh my God. David, what's the temperature like up there in the tundra states? It is, I think, about 75 degrees right now. Let me get my weather app and see what it is. It is... Oh, the Soviet cyclist in Kiev. Yeah. Oops. That's his picture right here.
I saw that photo.
The Soviet cyclist in Kiev. Where was it?
It was on like page 37.
All the way up into chapter 3.
35.
That guy.
I was
that
close.
Guy.
It's on page 35.
Yeah.
Not 37. But I was close.
Give me the chapter 2. It's 50 there now, but it'll be 77 tomorrow. What is the temperature right now? I was going to look up the temperature, but I got sidetracked by some dude. There's 72 degrees right now, and it is not particularly humid. It
a little
is
breezy.
Yeah, it's got a decent breeze. I turned off the fan, but we're good. It's a nice, pleasant evening.
Apparently, the cyclist loves whiskey.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Okay, I haven't gone into chapter 2 yet. I've finished chapter 1. I have not gotten into chapter 2. So, shut up. I've been busy. I tried, but I fell asleep last night when I started reading. But like I said, I've got 24 hours of distilling time next week that I'm going to be sitting here reading and watching my still. So, There you go. I will not be TikToking. I will not be doing anything else other than reading because I have homework to do. And when I have homework to do, I
He
do
actually
my
has to
homework.
prepare for a show.
I prepare for shows. I don't prepare for our Thursday shows, but I prepare for other shows.
That's why I carry the show on Thursdays.
I mean, I read all about. Oh, you need 50. Did I have I reviewed School of Errors? I think I did.
I'm supposed to review School of
I
Errors.
think I reviewed School of Errors. It
I
was
thought you said it was the worst cookbook
terrible
ever.
cookbook. 5 stars. Would definitely recommend. I don't remember what I reviewed it. I remember I gave it 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I said it was deeply engaging and thought provoking and something else.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I'm pretty sure I wrote blah, blah, blah. I'm kidding. I gave it a good review. Unlike this one, the velocity of information, which is clearly incorrect because we know the velocity of information is only 725 miles an hour. But you say on chapter 6 that it is 1,400 miles an hour, and information does not go 1,400 miles an hour.
What happened to the 743 miles
I've had
per
a
hour
different number
figure?
every time. Glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
Ben Hoke from 30 Rock and TV show Manifest is narrating velocity. Oh, fucking awesome. That's cool. Very cool.
I could
She
be the
could be,
I could be the
but
50th review for the
she's
School of Errors.
embarrassingly inconsiderate, and she won't. She was telling me just the other day that she just will not. She's like, I will not review that book. It is, I'm just not gonna.
I could also be the narrator for your third book.
It's a short story. Oh, good God. Uh, so there's a black cat that lives out here.
Ooh.
There's 2 deer, at least 2 deer. I think there's a total of 4 in the herd. Pack herd? Is it a herd of deer or a pack? It's a herd of deer. Yeah, I think we're going to create a new term for deer. A group of deer together. They are going to be known as a thimble of deer. So
I think thimble is taken.
There's 4 deer in the thimble of deer that was running around out here.
No, I really do think thimble is taken.
Thimble should be the word for rabbits. But I think rabbits is a harem. There's a harem of rabbits.
I know they build warrens.
Yeah, and they live in a den. And it
no,
is
they
a
live
harem
in
of rabbits.
a warren.
A harem of rabbits. That's what I'm calling it. The harem of rabbits, a thimble of deer, and a shock of red hair. That's a thing. Yeah,
wait.
Yo.
A bunch of deer.
A bunch of deer. That's a good term for them.
Maybe called a herd.
Yeah.
You could also call the group a bunch.
A bunch.
A mob.
A mob.
A parcel.
Parcel.
Or a ringale.
That sounds just fancy.
Or maybe it's ringale. I think it's ringale.
I think a bunch is fine. There's a bunch of deer that lives out here. That's fine. That'll do. There's also a bunch of trees. A bunch of June bugs. There's not so many mosquitoes. Yes, that's exactly what she's doing. She's looking up the book and posting a review on the Amazons, which I believe is the proper term for the company, the Amazons. Yes. Late. I'm loopy.
You are loopy.
But we're having fun. We got like 85 people watching. Well, 5.
I mean,
rounding it off.
I do have a bit of a drive.
You do.
Yes,
you do. Like know where all these people were during the damn concert when we had a live band playing. You people suck. I'm kidding. Y'all are awesome. I love you people. I mean, you can still suck and I can still love you. Those things are not mutually exclusive.
It's true.
there are plenty of sucky people that I adore, and it's a shame because it's just a toxic relationship. And I know it's a toxic relationship, but I'm cool with it. I'm just like, whatever. Choke me a little longer. Thank you. You want some pie? And then we go have pie. That's cool. And then I lend them some money, and then I don't see them for 6 months, and then they come back and they borrow my car and wreck it. But nobody notices because my car is already kind of a heap. But it's okay. It runs. Well, rolls. It doesn't run. It doesn't have legs. You have to have legs to run. That would be awkward. Having a car with legs. Anyway, what were we saying?
I'm just letting you ramble. Just letting.
Okay, so next week we've got. There's a good chance that we'll have a day in the life episode next week. Sometime during the week. There's a good chance. Well, I don't know what the Wednesday night show is going to be yet, but Wednesday night is going to be some kind of science meets philosophy meets whiskey episode again. Last week was Euclid's 5 principles, postulates, and why they're fascinating, because they're fascinating, trust me. Go watch the show. They're fascinating. What's wrong with you? One of the sponsors was Angry Mike's Barbecue Joint, who is a sponsor of tonight's show as well. Angry Mike's Barbecue. At Louetta and Waugh, Angry Mike's Barbecue. What the fuck are you looking at? Get a sandwich. Angry Mike's Barbecue.
Those two streets do not intersect.
They don't know that.
Those two streets do
But
not
Angry
intersect.
Mike's doesn't exist, so if they go looking for it, they're going to try and find it, and it's not going to be there, and they're not going to be able to find the intersection, and that'll be hilarious. Constellation of whiskey stocks are doing big today. What? Disney's not a whiskey stock. Disney, Verizon, 3. None of those are whiskey stocks. What are you talking about? Constellation of whiskey stocks.
They're all down today.
Those aren't whiskey stocks, though. Disney, Verizon, 3M. Those aren't whiskey stocks. But I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe we'll talk about Disney and the philosophy of good governance and how you can fuck up your entire political career by picking on a giant multinational interstellar trillion-dollar conglomerate that can literally have you killed and bury your body somewhere in an island that they own and nobody would find it. You don't think Disney can do that? Disney can absolutely do that. Where do you think all the Song of the South videos are? Disney buried them on an island that they own somewhere. You'll never find them because if you get close to that island, they'll kill you. And Mickey Mouse will get away with it because he's Mickey Mouse. And he'll be all like, "Ha!" And you're dead. And it doesn't matter. If anybody can get away with murder, like literal murder, I don't mean like metaphorical murder, I mean like literal murder, is Disney. Because you're not allowed in that castle. Guess what's in there? Dead bodies. Lots of them. Stacked like cordwood. That's what they do. They kill people. Come at me, Disney. I'm ready for you. Send me a cease and desist letter. Quit. Please cease and desist telling people that we murder people. It's not technically murder if you have your own police force. It's only murder in the state of Louisiana, and we are technically an autonomous empire in the middle of Florida, not Louisiana. Sorry, wrong state. They all both have swamps. They're east, whatever. Nobody cares. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about that on Wednesday night show. Philosophy and science, the science of ruining your career by picking on a bazillion-dollar interstellar corporation that doesn't give a shit. That would be fun. Because, Disney doesn't need the tax breaks. They've got $1 zillion. And they print their own money. And be all like, and don't they have wizards? They have wizards, right? No, that's a different. That's
Don't they
Universal,
have-
right?
No.
Isn't Harry Potter the Universal?
Yes.
Yeah, so they
But-
don't have those wizards. They have other ones. They have good wizards.
Mickey was the sorcerer's
Yeah,
apprentice.
he was a sorcerer's apprentice, right? They've got sorcerers. I don't have wizards. The wizards are over in the other studio.
What's the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer?
Apparently something, because the sorcerer didn't have a school. He
Huh.
just had a mouse that made brooms do stuff for him.
They had Merlin.
Yeah, they do have Merlin. He was a magician. Merlin the magician. He's not a sorcerer.
Oh.
Although,
Nor a wizard.
yeah, he was neither. He was really just a scientist. Crazy scientist who blew himself to Bermuda and had an owl named Archimedes. Archimedes was dope as hell. But you didn't hear that from me. Maybe I'll pull a different Greek philosopher out of the mix, because those Greek philosophers were really just scientists. They were bad scientists, but they were scientists. Maybe we'll do Pythagoras. We'll do Pythagoras. Maybe I'll do a full breakdown of the Pythagorean theorem.
Why would you say that they were bad scientists?
Because they didn't have they were theoretical scientists. They weren't like empirical scientists. They didn't have beakers, so they couldn't have been like good scientists. They were sitting around in Disney dropped. Hey, trust me, Disney has the resources to fuck Abbott over. And if Abbott wants to continue his political career, just think about it.
Are you thinking of DeSantis?
Who to say? Abbott? Oh God, I wish they would fuck Abbott. Yes, DeSantis, but they're both the same people. They have this clever little ruse where they go through, where he walks out of the room and then gets in a wheelchair, and then they're like, oh, he's a different person. It's like the Clark Kent thing, where he takes off his glasses and they're like, who's that guy? And he's like, it's just me, Clark. They're like, oh, cool. And then he takes his glasses and puts them on the table, and Lois is like, look, we got a new table. And he's like, no, it's just my glasses. You didn't recognize it, did you? She's the worst journalist, the absolute worst journalist. Anyway. If you don't think Disney can spare $50 million to screw DeSantis over, you don't understand how much money Disney has. They have all of it, literally all of it, all of the money. They have more money. They own a whole country, well, an island, which is really a country. They can do it, and it would be just petty cash to them, a rounding error. Let's see how much money was spent in the governor's election, or the last governor's race. How much spent governor Florida? When was the last election? 2022? No, that's next year. Was it 2020 for Florida governor?
I don't know. I don't know if they're on the.
Let's find out.
I don't know if they're on the
campaign cash in the Florida 2018 race. I mean, DeSantis just received $109 million, so $500 million to Disney wouldn't do anything. That would totally tip the scale. Andrew Gilliam spent $46 million. Ron DeSantis spent $52 million. So literally a rounding error for the Disney Corporation to completely upend the Florida race if they wanted to. And one thing that companies don't like is instability.
Sure.
I mean, they could do with it. They don't need the tax breaks. They don't need the special treatment. They don't need any of that crap. And they get a ton of special treatment, from copyright to trademark to just all the stuff that they get special treatment from, tax breaks, property tax breaks, sales tax breaks, everything that they get breaks on. They don't need it. They are they're an interstellar $1 trillion corporation. They don't need shit. But yeah, $500 million, that would upend the race pretty quick. And that would not even show up on their quarterly reports. 500 million. They went through 2 years of COVID restrictions without having their theme parks open, and they were fine. They're like, we'll make do. We'll be cool. That's insane. Those guys, God, to have that kind of money as a corporation, to be able to just go out and say, we're going to buy ESPN. And then they did. And they're like, we're going to go buy a hockey franchise. And then they did. They were just like, here, you take a check. Damn, that's awesome. They like to just strut into the Senate like you're just swinging your dick and throw it over your shoulder and like, we need 25 more years of copyright time on Mickey Mouse. Who wants money? And they're like, we like money. And boom, 25 more years. I mean, to be able to buy, 20 senators just on a whim with petty cash that you have in your briefcase? Oh, man. Damn. That's a hell of an afternoon.
True. And on that.
So, yeah, probably Pythagoras.
Okay.
We'll probably talk about Pythagoras. I like Pythagoras. He was a hip dude. He wasn't just a triangle guy. He also did music. So, you know, he wasn't like a drummer. He was an artist, performer. He could actually play
The triangle?
String instruments. He was the dude who.
It would be way better if he played the triangle.
Oh yeah, but he was the dude who figured out the octaves, the difference between the notes. He basically established the scale of notes and the octaves. It went between 8 notes. Each one was an octave. He figured all that shit out.
Cool.
And then he's like, you know what I'm going to do for my second act? Triangles. Bing. And then somebody said, you know, that hypotenuse is longer than the other two. He's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? I got a formula for that. They named it after me. I wonder how, like, in the Greek bars, when they're, like, hanging out and, like, going to the bars to, like, you know, when they're, like, toga shit, they're going after school, lets out, and they're, like, going to the Greek bars, the Greek after parties, whatever, hanging out with the fraternities and sororities. I wonder what the fraternities and sororities were named, because we use Greek letters. So I wonder if they use, like, the Egyptian letters for their sororities and stuff. Anyway, so I wonder how cool a pickup line that was when he's like out like trying to bag chicks and he's like, you know, I got a whole theorem named after me. What's up, baby? I wonder if that made the Greek chicks at the bar all like, woo, but in Greek.
I would be intrigued. I mean, you guys have seen my unhinged stuff, so I mean, that's like
Got a theorem named after me, baby.
way better than most of the stuff that I've seen.
Go back to my place and see if my hypotenuse squared equals your 2 legs squared. What's up? And then he'd have to go through the process of explaining that a squared plus b squared are the 2 legs of the triangle, and c is the hypotenuse, and a squared plus b squared. And then by then she's asleep.
Which is what I would like to be very soon.
Well, let's wrap it, shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Because you're smelly.
Cheers to chat. I know I stink. I can smell myself. The wind died down, and you're downwind. The wind comes from this door that way, and she's downwind. But yeah, I feel it. It's gross. I feel grimy and smelly and icky. It's just bad. Oh, sleepy. You people aren't interesting anymore. I'm tired. You're making me yawn. I'm bored. Kidding. I'm not bored. But I do have pizza waiting for me at home, so there's that.
Nice.
But it's not a good pizza. It's a Tortino's pizza. It's a.
Oh.
I mean, I like it. It's not good food, but I like this food. You know, it's like this guilty pleasure where you're like, oh, that's so bad for me. Give me some. Yeah. It's like this chick I knew in high school named Heather, who was really bad for you, but man. She had legs that were like up to here. It was, woo, man. Heather was something.
Say goodnight, Joe.
Good night, Joe. Bye.
Bye.
Is that the one?
I don't know.
Is it? No. Maybe that one. There we go. That'll work. Yeah, Mike's still hot. They can still hear me talk. I can say, like, poop!